What's up, everybody? Well, I got another gameplay video for you today, and today we're going to finish up Grid Legends at 4K, and I have a feeling it should probably be able to do maxed 4K. I'm pretty confident, because it was getting well over 100, even maxed out in ultra-wide. So, it should probably get 70, 80 maxed out at 4K, or at least in the mid-60s, but we'll see. Why not? We're all set up, ready to go. Didn't even bother grabbing the mouse, just took the keyboard, or just took the controller with me. Because it's not like we really need the mouse for anything. I can just use a trackpad to do the little things I need to do in-game. So let's hop in and look at some settings.
Well, now we are moving on to 4K, so let's look at the display settings for 4K real quick, just one time here. We're obviously on full screen, 3840 by 2160, no VSync, no motion blur. That's just the way ultra low treats it. So now, speaking of which, let's go look at ultra low settings. Starting the game out on ultra low. A quick scroll through the settings first, and then we'll do a quick benchmark, and then we'll hop into the game and see how it does in a real game, both screen and camera, because sometimes screen recording takes a little FPS away. And then of course we don't want this dynamic resolution on, so let's turn that off immediately. Hit apply, there we go. Sometimes I get worried that it's going to mess up my recording when I do that, but so far it hasn't. And we'll do variable rate shading at the end. So now, benchmark. So the benchmark's all done for ultra low. We got our little frame graph here. My mouse movement might be a little jerky. I'm just using the trackpad on the laptop this time. Didn't feel like hooking a mouse up, since we're basically just using a controller the whole time anyway. So we averaged 174, got 142, 122 min, 203 max, and there's our frame time. So into the game we jump. Alright, starting off our 4K gameplay here on ultra low. So let's get a little gameplay in. And for once, this is one of those games that really doesn't look completely awful on ultra low. I can definitely tell we're on ultra low, don't get me wrong, but you know, some games just look absolutely like trash. Like, try putting Elden Ring on low, and that game looks terrible. That's why I don't do it on the Steam Deck. I can't get 60 FPS anyway, so why would I make it look like crap? Can barely hit, can't even hit 40 either, so I just got a lot of high settings on and capped that thing at 30. As much as I'd like 60, I'd rather have a smooth 30. It's probably what I'll do with a bunch of new age games, and that's okay. Locking it to 30 will save me battery life too. It's handheld. I don't expect to get like 500 FPS on a handheld anyway. Never did, judging by its specs. I figured it was going to even struggle to do AAA games, and at least it can do most of them at 30 FPS. So that's good enough for me. At least mobile. I'd be pissed if I was doing that on my desktop, but anyway, why don't we move on?
Well, alright. We are on ultra low to start with here. And at least in ultra low, even though it's 4K, we're still getting almost close to 200 FPS, so. Ah, screwed that up a little bit, but it's whatever. I'm so far ahead of him, it doesn't matter. Turn coming up, slow down a little teensy bit. I'm actually really surprised with this Mustang. I was not expecting a Mustang to handle this good. Alright, and let's move on.
So now we're moving up to low. So let's just have a quick look at all the low settings. Because the quicker we get done with that, the quicker we can do a benchmark, and the quicker we can get to the gameplay. And I feel the gameplay is the part most people come for, but I like being thorough and showing you the settings and benchmark if there is one. I just can't get super thorough and do like every single setting possible for FSR. Icarus taught me that does not work. That makes hour-long videos that you can't even do timestamps for. Anyway, variable rate shading, we'll wait till the end, so let's run that benchmark. Benchmark for low is all done. Here's our little frame bar. Again, I'm using trackpad, so it's not going to be quite as smooth as I am with a regular mouse, but I think I'm doing alright. Here's our system info, CPU, RAM, GPU memory, all that. And DX feature level. We average 166, 135, 97 percentile, 114 minimum, and 192 max. Here's our average CPU and GPU frame time. Alright, now we've upped it to low. So let's see how it does on low. So far, even at the beginning with confetti, people, all the cars, we're still well over 100 FPS, so this is looking good. Wouldn't that be cool if we could max this game completely out and get 60 all the time? That would be dope. I'm always looking for games that you can get 60 FPS on all resolutions and whatnot. And I'm trying harder to not like super slam into people, but it's not easy in this game. Much like in real racing, people aren't just going to get out of your way and let them pass you. But in real racing, you can't just bash your car into people either. A, you damage your shit, and B, I'm pretty sure you'll get in trouble for that. At least in most racing. Destruction Derby is one thing, I know that's different. And I don't think that's mostly, whoa! That was a nice evasive maneuver there. I had to brake for the guy who cut me off, and not crash and T-bone those people who crashed. I think I handled that situation pretty well. Alright, why don't we just get around this corner real quick. And then after we do that, I think it'll be about time to move on.
Alright, now we're on low. Getting ourselves some camera recorded gameplay here. Ooh, I got so way down for that guy. But we did. There was no issue at all. There's 4 laps on this guy. I was just redoing these so I could level my, or drive the cars enough to level them up so I could modify them. I've almost got everything in the Rookie Series beat. But I think these cars have like some final championship at the very bottom. And I think there should be the perfect amount of races to get this completely done. Might have to repeat 1 or 2, but although we still have to finish this one up, I'm sure. I think there's one more race after this before we can continue. I'm sure it won't let me just cancel it. At least not without being penalized. And why don't we move on?
Bumping up to medium now, so let's have a quick look at our medium settings. Just scroll through. That's what we'll do. There we go. Alright, what the heck, I don't want to mess that up. Let's just go back and forth, make sure we didn't mess any of the settings up. I guess it's a lot easier to just use the controller here. So we'll just do that, looking through the settings, moving on. And we'll do that guy at the end. Well, alright. Medium benchmark's done now, so let's have a quick look at this frame graph here. Here's our system information here with our CPU, GPU, memory, and all that. We averaged 125 this time, 104 for 97, 101 minimum, and 140 max. And there's our CPU, GPU frame time, so back into the game we go. Now we're going to get ourselves a little medium gameplay in here. Whoa, that was close. Almost been right into them damn tires again. Did that at ultra wide. But at least I avoided it this time. Well, so far so good. Even on medium, we are staying above 60, even in the rain. Well, that didn't work. Alright, let's back up. How do we back up? Alright, here we go. Come on. We're gonna have to play catch up again, but that's okay. That kind of makes it a little more fun, seeing if I can catch them. But I've got 3 laps. I should be able to. Man, you can even see the, like, back spray from all their tires from all the way back here. This is only medium. Probably would have bashed my tire off right there, but hey, it's a game. The center exhaust on the Mustang is pretty neat too. I'm not used to seeing Mustangs with a center exhaust like this. Well, alright though, why don't we go ahead and move on?
Well, now we are on medium. I kind of really fucked up at the beginning of this race, so now I'm trying to get back through the poles. Hell yeah, there we go. We're in first now. At least for now. Hopefully I won't smash into any more walls. Oh, well, we smashed the wall a little, but at least we didn't like get completely stopped like at the beginning there. That sucked. But at least I made up for it. At least during straightaways, I can look down at the timer without like smashing into stuff. But yeah, this video might be a little bit long because I haven't been able to pay as much attention. It's harder to pay attention at 4K, and it's even more hard to pay attention when you're in like a racing game or a game like Elden Ring where you can't pause. You can pause in a racing game, but I don't like doing that until I know I'm ready. I don't want to sit here, pause, 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 nope, pause, go back in, back and forth. That doesn't make for a good video. Anyway, though, let's move on.
Now we're going to move on to high. So let's just look at the high settings real quick. And we're only getting 75 in the menu, so now I'm starting to wonder if we're going to be able to get 60 maxed out. But I'm still hoping. We'll see what it does in the benchmark, and we'll see what it does in the actual game in a second. And now let's move on to that benchmark. Here is the benchmark for high now. We got our little frame bar right there. And our system information up here. Then we got 101 average, 87 97th percentile, 82 minimum, 109 max, and then we got our CPU and GPU frame time. So now let's hop into that game. Here we go. Now it's time for high gameplay. Time for another quick drink there. Otherwise I'm gonna be sitting there clearing my throat a bunch, and I don't want to do that. Oh well, that could have been so much worse. But we're still staying above 60 even on high, so I'm starting to get more hopeful again that we're going to be able to max this thing out and still achieve over 60, even at 4K. That's impressive. I'm smashing into too many walls here. There goes somebody's hood. Not mine, that's all that matters. Well, barely snuck past him. But we got past him, and that's what matters. Went way too hot into that corner and fucked that up, but hey, we're still in first. And we'll get around this corner, and now, why don't we move on?
Well, now we are on high graphics settings, so let's get a little camera gameplay in. We're still getting well above 60 out here. In the very beginning, with everybody around us, we were dropping into the high 70s, but I'm still pretty convinced we're going to be able to probably stay above 60 even when we're maxed out, but we'll have to wait and see. And then wouldn't it be interesting if even if we can't, turning on that variable thing would help get us over the edge? That'd be cool. Although I'd prefer it to just work fine and then have that icing on top of the cake of getting even more performance, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. See, sometimes I can do freaking real good on these corners and get like within millimeters of the wall, but sometimes I hit the wall. Like that. But alright, why don't we move on to the last graph? Well, wait, no, there's still ultra high. Let's go move to ultra high.
And finally, we're on ultra high settings, which are the highest settings in the game. There's only one thing you can toggle on, which is variable shaders. I feel like I messed that up, but we'll see it at the bottom here. Variable rate shading. So now let's go run a benchmark. Well, ultra hot benchmark just got done. Here's our frame bar. And as you guys can see, according to that, we never went below 60. And here's our game system info, rather. And we averaged 87. 97 percentile was 74. We got 97 for minimum and 97 for max. Or 71 for minimum, 97 max. Frame times and all that. Well, for ultra high, we're in Japan, so that should be fun, and it's raining. We dropped down to 60 right there, 59, so we did go under 60 for like a split second. 57, 56. So it can't quite handle it at the beginning with all the people, but let's see how it does once you're away from everybody. But I don't think I would notice that without a frame rate counter, to be perfectly honest with you guys. The Steam Deck has taught me as long as you're getting smooth frame times, you're probably not going to notice. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can still tell the difference between 30 and 60 FPS without a frame rate counter, but it still can feel smooth. It's probably also because I use a controller with that thing. Controllers, 30 doesn't feel that bad with. 30 FPS with a keyboard and mouse feels like absolute dog shit. I can say that with 100% certainty. I don't care. I was looking at my time there, almost crashed. Alright, get around this corner here. And now, we can go and move on.
Well, now we're on ultra high. Cruising around Japan here through the mountains, having a blast. And not getting eliminated so far, which is also good. This would definitely be gnarly to do in the rain. I haven't been paying flawless attention, but I don't think it ever dropped under 60. Alright though, let's move on.
So here's variable rate shading settings. Let's just look over them real quick. They're pretty much just ultra high settings, but all we did was click a toggle switch, which makes it custom. But still figured we'd look at the settings real fast. I could have, I guess, just said, hey, I turned on a toggle. But at least this makes it so you can see there's no shenanigans. So now let's go see how it does in a benchmark. Alright, benchmark's all done. We got our frame bar, or frame time bar, excuse me. Alright, and then we got our results up there. Here's our system or our info. We got 90 that time, which is better, yeah. 72 minimum and 100 max. So we did a little bit better on all of this stuff. So now, let's go see how it does in an actual game. Well, now we got ourselves a little variable rate shading gameplay, so let's cruise around this track and see how it does. Let's see if we can stay above 60 around all the people too. Although it's not raining this time, so we probably will be able to. Man, that's quick. I got in front of them faster than ever before. Gotta go slow around the corners though, we don't want to slide off. Damn, look at those balloons. Around this giant ass corner here. I can hear a helicopter.
The last lap was a 56.5.
So far I'm doing pretty damn good on this track. Alright, we'll go around this corner, and now let's move on.
Alright, and finishing up here, we got some variable rate shading turned on now, and it is definitely, at least on this track, making it super smooth. As it was loading, like before it even showed me the cars, it dropped to 53 for like a split second, but once we got into it, we've been in the 80s and 90s. Even when we were around a plethora of other cars. So that's pretty sweet. I like that setting. More games should have that. It'd be so awesome if I could lap them. I don't have enough laps to clutch up to them to do something like that, though.
Time last lap was a 49.4.
These race cars sure do have like really tight gears. And we're already almost to the finish line. And there we go. That's a win. And also a wrap, so let's go wrap this video on up. Well, alright guys, that is a wrap for Grid Legends, and I'm proud to say another game that you can play on any resolution and any graphic setting you want on this laptop, and it is great. Very fun racing game. I'm probably going to buy that for sure. Well, probably, you're not going to say probably, I'm for sure going to buy that. But I also have a couple other games to buy, so there are other ones people wanted to see, like The Forest, for example. But anyway, I have nothing left to say about this game. Did great, so it's time to wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until the next one, peace out, guys.